Assalamu alaikum, grade 7. How are you? I hope all of you are hale and hearty because Faiza Nadeem here wishes and prays the best for you. हंसते खेलते खुश रहो, सेफ रहो और हमेशा अपने वालिदैन के फर्माबरदार रहो. So, what we are going to do today? But what do I teach? Do you remember? Yes, you do. I teach English. So what we are going to do in our English lesson today is another poem. एक poem करेंगे हम आज. कौन सी? Let's find out. Yes, my dearest children. What is the board telling you? The board is telling you that you are going to do a poem from Unit 8. The name of the unit is Family Feelings and it is from your Oxford Progressive Reader. The pages are from 219 to 223. But the funda is that the name of the poem is also Family Feelings, right? That is why I have written Family Feelings only once on my board. So what I am going to do, I am going to read the poem first for you and then we are going to do the questions and answers. So, let's move on towards where our poem is hidden. The poem was hiding over here, behind the screen. So, I'm going to read it for you. It's going to pop out, look at you. And then we are going to understand what the poem is all about. And then we are going to do the questions and answers. So, open page number 219 immediately and read with me. The name of the poem is Family Feelings and it is written by Charles Cosley, right? So let's read the poem. Family Feelings. My Uncle Alfred had the terrible temper, wrapped himself up in his invisible cloak. When the mood was on, his children crept from the kitchen. It might have been mind. Not even the budgies spoke. He was killed in the First World War in Mesopotamia. His widow rejoiced, though she never wished him dead. After 3 years, a postcard arrived from Southampton. Coming home Tuesday, Alf, was what it said. His favorite flower he calls the anti-merihianium. Grew it instead of greens on the garden plot. Didn't care much for the children, though father of 7. Owned in his lifetime 9 dogs, all called Spot. At carnival time, he rode the milkman's pony. Son of the Sheikh, a rifle across his knee. Alf the joiner, as Peary in the cotton wool snowstorms. Secret in cocoa and feathers and Indian Cree. I recognized him once in the Shah of Persia. My aunt's front room curtains gave him away. It's Uncle Alf, I said, but his glance was granite. Mind your own business, nosy, I heard him say. I never knew just what it was that bugged him, or what kind of love a father's love could be. One by one his children bailed out of the homestead. You were too young when yours died, they explained to me. Today, walking through St. Cyprian's churchyard, I saw where he lay in a box, the dry color of bone. The grass were tamed and trimmed as if for a Sunday. 7 anti-merihianiums in a jar of stone. Alright, so this poem was about Uncle Alfred, who was a very bad-tempered person, right? Let's do the question and answers. Reading for interpretation. The poet's Uncle Alfred was obviously a difficult man. Describe his behavior in the first verse. What does it might have been mind mean? What is the effect of half line? Not even a budgie spoke. Uncle Alfred बहुत ही बैड टेम्पर्ड मैन थे, लेकिन आप इस स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चन के आंसर को यूं फ्रेज आउट करेंगे कि his behavior in the first word is described with the phrase terrible temper. He was said to have a terrible temper. The word mind mean that he could explode any time. Minds होती है ना जो मट्टी के नीचे होती हैं, हिडन होती हैं, जिनके ऊपर आप पाँव रखो तो ब्लास्ट हो जाती हैं. तो इसी तरह से अगर उसको कोई बात कर दी जाए अंकल एल्फ्रेड को, तो वो माइन हो सकते हैं, फट सकते हैं. So it meant to blast by a single fraction of act, okay, by a single word. That is why the word mind means. And the effect of half line, not even a budgie spoke, meant that everyone, even the pets, was scared of Uncle Alfred's temper. budgies कौन है? वो आपके ऑस्ट्रेलियन होते हैं, राइट? और आपको पता है वो कितना शोर मचाते हैं, कभी चुप नहीं रहते. लेकिन अंकल एल्फ्रेड के एंगर से वो इतना डरते थे कि वो भी जब उनको मालूम हो जाता था कि अंकल एल्फ्रेड का टेम्पर बहुत हाई है, इवन देन दे वुडंट स्पीक. How can you tell that Uncle Alfred was a man of habit? We can tell that he was a man of habit because he grew the same flowers in his garden, anti-myrrhinium, and he had 9 dogs. All of them were called as Spot, and he always dressed for carnival, whatever be it. Right? He would always dress for carnivals. At carnival time, Uncle Alfred displayed another side of his personality. Explain what it was and what characters did he dress up as. Uncle Alfred displayed a fun-loving personality at the time of the carnivals, and he dressed up as a milkman, as the son of a sheikh, as a soldier, as Perry from Cottlewon snowstorms, as an Indian Cree, and as the Shah of Persia, not to forget the elf, right? So these were all the characters that Uncle Alfred dressed up as in the carnival time. What does the metaphor his glance was granite tell you about Uncle Alfred? This tells about the strong personality, his anger. He would stare. Granite over here, or glance was granite means he stared to scare. Right? और ग्रेनाइट क्या है? ग्रेनाइट एक टाइप का एलिमेंट है, ठीक है, जो सीमेंट में यूज होता है. स्ट्रॉन्ग, स्ट्रेंथ, ठीक है, तो इसी रेफरेंस में ये यूज किया गया है. Why was the poet unable to judge what was a father's love was? The poet was unable to judge what a father's love was because he became orphan when he was very young. When he was a child, he became fatherless. His father had died. How did Uncle Alfred's children feel about him when he was alive? What do you think is the significance of 7 anti-myrrhiniums on his grave? Well, Uncle Alfred's children were wary of him. They did not like him. They would stay away from him. And they left home very early because they did not like to be around him. ठीक है? 7 anti-myrrhiniums on his grave were actually 7 plants potted by his 7 sons or 7 children. It's not mentioned that he had all sons. So by his 7 children, each of them planted a flower of his like on his grave, and his grave was well kept, well taken care of, which meant that they regularly visited his grave. Right? So they did care for him, they did love him, but did not show it to him in his life. This was question number 6. Let's move on to question number 7. Question number 7. Why do you think Uncle Alfred was a bad-tempered man? Do you feel pity for him? Give your reasons. He was bad-tempered because he had nearly died in a war, right? He had seen the worst one can see in life, right? And we don't know how much torture he might have undergone. We don't know how much problems he might have faced. And I do feel sympathy for him because from inside, he was a soft and kind man. This is shown the way he dressed up for the carnivals, right? He was a fun-loving and soft person, but it was the situations in which he had found himself that had turned his personality, that has shaped up his personality, right? So this is your answer. आफ्टर दिस यहाँ पर आपको उन्होंने डेरिवेशंस और डेफिनेशंस दी हैं. सबसे पहली डेरिवेशन है एंटीहेरियम्स. ये बेटा एक्चुअली फ्लावर्स हैं, लेकिन अंकल एल्फ्रेड ने उसमें एम डाल दिया था, एंटीमेरियम्स. ठीक है, एक्चुअल फ्लावर्स है एंटीहेरियम्स. वो गार्डन फ्लावर्स हैं जो नोज और लिप्स की तरह लुक करते हैं. अगर आप देखो तो फ्लावर्स होते हैं जिनको आप इधर से दबाओ तो उनका मुंह ऐसे ऐसे करता है फ्लावर्स का. ठीक है, ये वो हैं. कॉमनली दे आर नोन एज स्नैपड्रैगन्स, और उनका जो मुंह होता है ना फ्लावर्स का, वो ओपन और शट होता है. अंकल एल्फ्रेड ने इसमें एम आई डाल दिया था. राइनो का मतलब है नोज इन एंशिएंट ग्रीक, राइनम्स. ठीक है, राइनो तो यहाँ पे उस नोज लुक लाइक फ्लावर्स के लिए यूज किया हुआ है. वो कौन सा एनिमल है जहाँ ये यूज किया गया है टू गिव हिम हिज नेम? तो उससे आपको कौन याद आते हैं? राइनोसेरस. बहुत ही पॉइंटेड उसकी नोज होती है, रिमेम्बर. उसके बाद व्हाट आर बजराइगर्स? बजराइगर्स आर ऑस्ट्रेलियन पैराकीट, ऑस्ट्रेलियन तोते. उनको ऑस्ट्रेलिया में एप ऑरिजिन कहा जाता है और उनका शॉर्ट फॉर्म है बजीज. दे आर वेरी पॉपुलर ब्राइटली कलर्ड केज्ड पेट्स. और पता है आपको कि सख्त ही बैड टेम्पर्ड होते हैं. ये सारा दिन चू 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 करते हैं और इतनी लड़ाई करते हैं कि एट टाइम्स आपको सजा के तौर पे उनको दूसरे केज में शिफ्ट करना पड़ता है. ठीक है, तो दिस वर द definitions and derivations. Next we move on to the sentences which have been asked to you to form from the words which were given. Yani feel, I feel hungry right now. I would want to eat something. Here the feel is used as the verb, right? Feels. Ithi Saab feels the problems of others. ठीक है, और Idhi Saab felt the problems of others, and so he created a whole organization to help them up. और ये वाला feels, ठीक है, my mom feels the texture of the cloth before she buys it, और यहाँ पे as a verb use हो रहा है with feeling. ठीक है, I have written a letter with grave feelings to show my mother how I felt about her health. And feeling, he is a man of stone. He never shows his feeling to anybody. Feelings, ठीक है, महसूस जो आप करते हो. ठीक है, his feelings for his siblings can never be disguised. He shows them through every step he takes. ठीक है, unfeeling. He was a strict and stone-hearted man. His face is always unfeeling. यहाँ पर as an adjective use हुआ है. Feel for. We must feel for the poor and work hard so that they can also raise up or build up their status. Felt for. I felt for the trauma the poor had gone through as he told me his sad story. To feel एहसास करना, ठीक है? I wanted to feel what he had undergone in his life, but his style of telling it seemed to be full of exaggeration. So all these are sentences. आपको मैंने पार्ट ऑफ स्पीच जिसको ये बिलोंग करते हैं वो भी बताया, सेंटेंसेस भी कंस्ट्रक्ट किए. Quick recapitulation of today's lesson. We did Unit 8, Family Feelings in General, from Oxford Progressive Tree in specific, and the poem which is again Family Feeling about Uncle Alfred, who seemed to be a stone-hearted person but a very kind soul from inside. रीडिंग फॉर इंटरप्रिटेशन की, डेरिवेशंस और डेफिनेशंस की, और उसके बाद फील वर्ड के सेंटेंसेस बनाए. सब कुछ करना, मुझे दुआ में याद रखना, हंसते खेलते रहना. Until we meet again, सारा काम करके रखना. ठीक है, ciao.